Not long enough.
Yeah. So, Mountainhead, now streaming on HBO, is a movie written and directed by Jesse Armstrong, who we all know from Succession. And quick review from Letterboxd. The funniest one I saw was someone just wrote the word Succession, but with SUCK instead of SUCC. And that was hilarious. So that's the
That is
overall
funny.
internet review of this movie is it's not Succession, which unfair comparison. Obviously, Succession, like,
Yeah, obviously an unfair comparison. In addition to Succession being one of the, better shows,
ever.
in recent show history. Yeah, it's probably up there with some of the all-timers.
Yeah.
It's also a different medium, right? I don't think it's fair to compare a show to a movie in the first place.
Mm, that's a fair
HBO
point.
prestige show. That's like over an hour per episode.
Right. Yeah. Like, I
Yeah.
think
This was less than 2 episodes of Succession.
I was going to say, I think one of the last episodes of Succession was longer than this movie.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty
the
sure.
finale was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You think
it's
Jesse Armstrong? Go ahead.
we have the upcoming, which also is HBO, the Harry Potter show.
Yeah.
People are going to compare it to the movie.
And it's going to
It's
be
going to
better
be
than the movie.
unfair. Probably.
At least from like depth of story, because they'll have
Yeah,
12
like
hours.
it has to be. You have like 10 times the amount of time to tell your story.
Yeah. Exactly. This movie is starring Steve Carell as Randall, who I think is the main character. Jason Schwartzman, who plays Super. Corey Michael Smith, who plays Venice. And Rami Youssef, who plays Jeff. Let's start with what you thought of this movie. What would you give it out of 10?
That's tough.
I remember my previous rating.
Yeah, what was the last one? And I gave it a 4.
The last one was we liked it.
Okay.
Friendship.
Yep.
Friendship.
Yep, Friendship.
Yeah.
This was to me was better than Friendship.
Okay.
I don't think it was funnier than Friendship. So in terms of as a comedy, Friendship was better.
Sure.
But I like this better. But I'll give this one either a 4 or a 5. If it's a 4, it's higher than Friendship.
Okay, that's fair. Nate?
I disagree with you, obviously, but I also give it a 5.
Yeah, same. I give it a 5. I have it above The Gorge and behind Scary Movie 1. And on the would you watch it? Oh no, we'll do it at the end. Never mind. We'll do our
Okay.
Yeah. This is new.
All right, edit that out.
No. YouTube needs to know. The 6 people that watch this need to know. So this movie, I think, centers around Randall because at the beginning of the movie, we find out he has cancer and is dying. That's the whole intro to this movie is him on a plane talking to a doctor. And I think the whole movie is him coming to terms with that and trying to accelerate he wants it to not happen any way possible. Like he tells the doctor, figure out a way to cure me because like I think he's a person who's never really taken no as an answer in his life. He's a multi-billionaire.
Like these are people that have the money that like not only can they get whatever they want, but also you get to a certain level of money and rules and laws and things like that start not applying to you.
Yes, 100%.
So so that's kind of the life he lives. Is he gets whatever he wants because he has the money to throw at it. And now he comes across cancer, which doesn't care how rich you are.
Yep.
Well, it does.
Yeah.
But,
it helps.
Yeah.
It's like, can't you just fund cancer research, dude?
Right. No, it's
like you got 10 years. If you could crack it, if you just threw $60 billion at it.
It's a me problem, not a you problem. So Randall finds this out early on, and then he's the one that wants to. He starts like stirring the pot of taking over the world once Venice's Twitter app freaks out.
anything that I would wanna rewatch, it's to rewatch to see how they gently slipped into talking about taking over the world.
I know.
Because it was a very gradual t like,
Yeah.
at first you think they're joking, and then they're like, "Oh, we can actually do this." And, like, first they're joking about taking over, like, Venezuela or something, and
Portugal,
then
Argentina.
Portugal,
Argentina,
and then
yeah.
they slowly just,
Maybe
yeah,
China.
descend into yeah,
Yeah. And there's a risk board that there's shown during the movie, and he
yeah,
Soup is actually on a call with Argentinian officials at some point trying to figure out what they
like,
can do.
trying to organize a military coup.
Yeah. um
I think this movie, it's very much kind of split into two separate arcs. And the first arc is very much just, I think, pure political satire,
yeah.
right? It seems like a serious movie. It's kind of crazy in that these characters are, because they're off the chart rich, they, they themselves feel like they're above other humans,
Mhm.
right? They even that was even a line in the movie that I was laughing at. One of them asked if he thinks people are real, and he's like, "No, I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
they're
you
real. They're
actually
just
believe in 8 billion
yeah."
people.
Yeah.
He's like, it took me a second, yeah, because he's like, "Do you believe in people?" And you can take that as, "Do you believe?" And then he's like, "No, no," like, he doesn't believe if other people exist.
Yeah. Everything's made
Like,
up. Like
he just
everything that they see on the internet that they're like, "Oh, I think the mayor of Paris just got murdered." Nah, I don't think he did. Like that guy's Venus is just
yeah.
or Venice is just always like, "No, I don't think so."
I mean, yeah, if anything, I, like, very heavy-handed on the AI, the current,
Oh my
like,
god.
topical AI,
Yeah.
generative AI debate, and
Yeah,
a little
how
heavy-handed.
timely. How timely though, because, obviously
It's
this
good
movie
timing,
had to
yeah.
have been, in writing and production and filming and things like that for a while.
Yeah.
No, they
So,
timed it
they
well.
they they really nailed the timing of when to drop this,
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Um I also think that this movie tackles a lot of ideas very um surface level. And I think that if so my argument is this movie would be better if it was a TV show. If it was a short like a 6 episode or 8 episode run show. I think it would
Mhm.
be really interesting. I think that the things that they could get into talking about, all right, what does taking over the world actually look like for them? Like, if you keep going with the
Mhm.
satire, keep going deeper. Uh,
Eh,
but they could explore the ideas of AI. They could explore the ideas of like, what is it to be rich? What is it to stay alive? Like, what would you do to stay alive? Like, would you kill your best friend, one of your like best friends, and try to put your brain up into the grid? Because that's what Randall's putting over here. It's like to stay alive, I will do this, and to stay ahead,
yeah.
I will do this. And like the competition of them, who has more money, like that was interesting. Like there's a lot of cool ideas, but
they had a lot of funny bits. My issue with making this series longer is the first part of this movie where it is, it's four billionaires. They get together to
well,
they're
three
having their
billionaires.
poker night. Yeah, right. They have their own running bits. One of them is that
Argentina.
Jason Schwartzman's character. They call him Soup, Soup Kitchen, Super. They have a lot of nicknames for him, but they call him those things because he's the poorest one.
$750 million.
At 550 million,
Yeah, 550 million. Oops.
and
Barely half a
it's
billion.
it's a big issue for him. Like
Yeah,
he's
Yeah.
very insecure because he's never been able to break a billion. They all have their own quirks. They're billionaires, they're odd characters, right?
yeah,
But so this first part of the movie, it has some great moments. It has some great lines and bits, but it overstayed its welcome for me.
mm.
And I don't know what it was. I don't know how you could quite fix it, but I was ready to not like this movie until it got into sort of the absurdity of the second part.
Yeah,
Yeah. That yeah. I my issue with, like, saying it should be a series or would be better as a series, like, I think you're just describing a different serious show that you'd like the writer of Succession to write that, like, looks at these issues.
yeah,
Like, this was supposed to be an absurdist comedy, and, like, I think a big part of it too is, uh, the surface level of their, like, I guess, contact of the world, assessment of issues,
mm.
which, like, came across as very funny, uh, as like a parody of tech bro, tech CEO culture.
Yes.
Like they're just bullshit masters who are good at like stringing together a series of words that sound smart, and they have like when they get into talking about taking over the world, they're like, oh yeah, that'll be easy. Like, do we throw in North America? Like, they're fucking idiots.
Yeah. Which
Like, clearly, like, they have business savvy, but they're think that they can just like whether they actually think that they can do it or not, they're just like bullshitting this, like shitting out this like half-cocked plan that they're never going to do, and they all know they're never going to do it.
yeah.
And they even do like half-cocked stuff, but like it doesn't like they're make oh god, they get into like they want to like punish Europe, so they're like, I could call some brownouts. And like, it makes a call, and like it is hilarious that it's happening in the background.
Yeah.
But like they're not like taking over the planet. He just like fucked up the energy grid for a day.
I really
Like
appreciate.
they're incredibly powerful, but they're idiots.
Yes, and that juxtaposition is so well put, like visually in this movie, because they like I think a lot of people who maybe don't know tech bros would see that part and be like, are they actually going to take the world? Like, is that what this is going to be about? And then you see
Yeah.
like 20 minutes later, they're like trying to shovel gasoline under a sauna door, and they use their hands for a while, and they're like, okay, these guys are
Yeah.
morons.
There's so many great lines. I mean, Steve Carell. I don't agree that it's about Randall, but I think Steve Carell stole the show just with like his playing of like everything he said was like an empty like
Fortune
an
cookie.
empty saying that meant nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
fortune
Yeah.
cookie
And
wisdom.
he's always pulling different philosophers and
Yeah, like he's
referencing different
read.
moments in history. And but it's so funny because when he speaks too, all of them stop and they're like
Oh yeah.
listening
Yeah,
and
because they're
nodding,
all
like they're
fucking
totally
idiots.
buying
Well,
it.
and he was the
Yeah,
VC
like
for the other two, the two younger guys. So like obviously they're going
yeah,
to look at him. I mean, they call him Papa Bear for God's sakes.
Yeah.
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 And yeah, he is well read. Like it's like they're smart. They're just also they're so caught up in their own like
Egos.
bullshit that they're idiots. And like so everything that came out of his mouth was either like some fake wise bullshit or just like the stupidest shit in the world. Like he got in so many funny lines. He said when you think about it, there are a lot of holes in the human skull. Just like that just came out of his mouth at one point. Like
Yeah, they were deciding
he
how to
said
kill
so
him.
many funny things.
Hard hat, hello.
Yeah.
I think this so his character Randall, I think is the perfect amount of Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Mm,
It wasn't full blast Steve Carell like maybe you've seen him in
The Office. 40-year-old
or
virgin.
like Anchorman
earlier
maybe
Anchorman.
stuff.
Yeah.
Anchorman,
something
40
like
year
that.
old virgin.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, this is too much. It's funny,
Mm,
but it for me it overstays its welcome.
Yeah.
And I think this was perfect for him, right? He has his his more serious moments. He's able to do the classic Steve Carell kind of freakouts.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing this
those freakouts
unhinged
are really good.
billionaire, and I think it was perfect for him. I do agree that that of the four, he probably had the best performance.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also shout out Corey Michael Smith,
So good. Yeah.
and because he played Chevy Chase
Yeah, that's right.
in the Saturday Night Live movie,
That's
Did not
right. That's
recognize
where I
him.
recognize him from. Okay.
and he killed it in that. And I think Chevy Chase into eccentric, Zuckerberg / Musk style billionaire
Yeah.
is
Pretty
not
awesome.
that far of a leap,
Yeah.
To
but
play a guy who
it
seems like
is in
he's on
some way.
cocaine, but he's actually not on cocaine
Yeah.
Yeah.
is intense.
Yeah.
In some ways, it's a huge leap. In other ways, it's not. And I think he nailed both of those roles perfectly.
100%.
Yeah.
So Jesse Armstrong began researching this topic after reading a book about Sam Bankman-Fried in 2023. He wrote the script in 2024 after Trump's election, and it was done 6 months later. Like the filming was done 6 months later. That's how quick this got going.
That explains the timeliness.
Yeah, exactly. It's like an episode of South Park for movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think on our rating system, we have skip it, wait till it's streaming. It is rent this movie at home, go see it in theaters, buy it digitally, buy the physical disc, stream it. If you got a Friday night and you're bored, sure, you might like it. It's fun.
Yeah,
It's like unoffensive. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I think right where it's at is perfect, right? I watched it just pulled up on Max, and I'm like, yeah, it was enjoyable.
Yeah,
I wouldn't rave about it, but it was good.
exactly. I don't need to watch it again anytime
I,
soon. I don't think.
I really, I'm at the stream it level, but I do think for like you guys are just close, like aware enough of in pop culture, and like to like know like the tech memes, but like I would recommend this to like most of my friends that are like in the startup culture.
Yeah.
Like it really, I was like I had a lot of laugh out loud moments. Uh, I think my favorite when they're trapped chasing him down in the house, and they're like, first, Steve Carell's character's like, if he finds a pad, could he hack it? And
Oh,
Super's just like, maybe if he can program for shit. And Venice just turns and smirks. And I fucking died. Like, that's such a fucking stupid bro thing.
oh my
Like,
god.
it's Silicon Valley to a T.
Every stairway
Like,
in
I
like
think if you
Apple
like Silicon
headquarters.
Valley, you will at least like get a lot of laughs out of this movie.
If you felt like Silicon Valley spoke to you, you should watch
Yeah.
this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's and again, it's just it's weird because it's so unlikable. Like that it was hard to watch, and before it got into the absurdity, it was like before you could really laugh at them, you're just like, oh my god, these fucking monsters.
And they only
And
like
they were also awkward and uncomfortable,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
The only halfway likable character they tried to kill the whole time,
yeah.
which was
I mean,
even
yeah, he was
better.
clearly the likable
Yeah.
character.
The reason in the room.
Though major kudos to the ending, and I really loved like Taylor's reaction of just like she's like, are they really not gonna like get a satisfying ending for like the good guy? And instead they turn it on their head and like you find out he's actually really is just a piece of shit too.
Yep.
Like I love the very ending of the movie.
Yeah. If that was episode 1 of a show and like the next episode I know they're going to like try to fuck with Randall and like see how they get out of that. I think they could keep the same tone
yeah.
and give me like 5 more of these and I'd be okay.
It's funny
Maybe.
because I feel like the most I don't think there's a lot of character growth in this movie,
Sure.
right? It's just us kind of
It
observing
seems like
them.
there is sometimes, and then
Yeah.
they go back on it.
Yeah.
All
Yep,
of them.
everybody goes back, but at the very end of the movie,
Oh
like
god.
just in literally the last 1 or 2 minutes worth of scene is like just like twists and turns.
Yep.
Hmm.
And so it almost leaves you wanting to know what happens next or
Mhm.
thinking
Yeah.
about what happens
I,
next more than the first entire half of the movie.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
I definitely I agree. Left wanting to know more, but I can't imagine it actually playing out.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fair.
Like, I was gonna say, do you think who's the writer? Jesse
Jesse
Armstrong.
Armstrong. Yeah.
Do you think Jesse Armstrong like wrote Succession and then was like, no, you're not supposed to like these fucking people and wrote this movie? Like, because like the longer you spend, you inevitably like I don't think anyone would describe most of the characters in Succession as likable, but
No.
like you're rooting for people
Yeah.
like in a perverse
Yeah.
way. This was so completely unlikable.
Yeah.
Like he's like, you're supposed to hate these
And
billionaires.
like
What
in
don't you people understand?
like a lot of people like Roman in Succession, he sent a dick pic
Yeah.
to his dad. Like and you're like, he's cool. I like him.
The very first scene of Succession
Oh
is
yeah.
probably still my favorite scene, and he's the worst of them
Yeah. He's
by a
very
lot.
bad.
Like he's a sociopath,
Mhm.
and that's all four of these guys. Like the most pitiable one, it's just because like he's the least rich.
He's the
Like
newest. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
And arguably he's the only one who ends up with maybe the happiest ending.
For sure. Soup. Yeah.
I mean he pulled it out. I mean I think that Jeff's gonna claw back, but
Oh, I do too.
I I love that they just skipped over the lawyer. Like as the lawyers are coming in, you're just like, what the fuck? And I think they just like, nah, we're not dealing with
Now
that. Like they just skipped over the.
there's having breakfast. Yeah, man, those NDAs were crazy. Like
It's fun that these lawyers that came in are like, all right, like
we've done this before.
fucking billionaires.
Yeah. So, Mountainhead on HBO. Maybe watch it.
Maybe watch it.
Maybe watch it.